Hi, my name's John. A year ago, I never even heard of Fruits Basket. That is until my girlfriend introduced the anime to me.
And I'm Allie. I've been reading the manga since I was in 3rd grade.
We loved watching season 1 together so much, and we'd have all these crazy long discussions about what happened in each episode.
And for season 2, we thought it would be really fun to share our conversations with you.
So join us today as we talk about season 2, episode 8, Well It's True. So before we get started, if you're a returning listener, then welcome back. And if you're a new listener, we're glad to have you on our Fruits Basket podcast. And if you want to stay up to date with all of our Fruits Basket content, then make sure to go down and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. But with all that out of the way, where are we starting?
Alrighty, we're starting out with Isuzu and Kagura. They live together. So, first question, I have 2 of them for you. First one is Isuzu. We're calling her Isuzu now, not Rin. How do you feel about that?
So, I thought that this was super random because we've been calling her Rin for the entire time. And so, I feel like this is just like her given name, and Rin is like an edgy, like, ooh, call me Rin kind of name. Either that, or she's very similar to Haru, and Rin is like her dark Haru kind of deal. Like there's 2.
Oh, like a wild horse kind of thing?
Yeah, like a wild horse, and then the tame horse is the Isuzu, and she's just more Rin than Isuzu lately. Because she's kind of been, I don't know, I don't really know that much about her, but she's seemed mysterious and kind of off the rails lately.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. Okay. Yeah, good theory. Another little question I have for you is, did you expect Isuzu and Kagura to live together?
So, okay, that was so random, because I feel like they're so polar opposite in terms of female characters, because Rin's such a, like, ooh, cool, calm, composed, kind of angry, and, well, Kagura is angry too, but she's very... she's very peppy and upbeat. And so this was an odd pairing, but I kind of liked the dynamic in a weird kind of way. Just seeing, not necessarily that I think that they even like each other, but I like that Kagura seems invested in Rin, and it seems like Kagura's family is invested in Rin, so it makes me wonder, is there a reason why Rin can't go home? Maybe her family, we see so much that the Zodiac families just detest having Zodiac children. And so Rin's family might have even been like, yo, take the money, we don't even want it, she can leave. Or maybe her parents aren't even alive, we really have no idea. And so I think that Kagura's family is just really trying to be caring, even if it's not a great situation for any of them. And I think that even ties in with Kagura's nature in general, because Rin says that she is keeping up that pretend love. Assuming that's about Kyo, which I feel like that's a pretty safe assumption.
Yeah.
But I don't think that she genuinely loves Kyo. I think it's a big act, or she's convinced herself that she has to, because I feel like her family might be like caretakers by nature. And so she feels guilty, maybe, that she was upset or scared when she first saw Kyo's like beast, because she's seen it, right?
Yeah, she definitely saw it. You see a flashback in season 1 where she takes off the bracelet and she looks a little bit scared in her eyes. You don't see like the rest of the transformation scene, but you do see that.
Yeah, so maybe she was horrified and ran away, and she harbors a lot of guilt because she sees how much everyone hates Kyo. And so she pretends to adore him to try and make up for everyone else hating him, almost.
Okay, good theory, good theory.
And so maybe that's just like a familial trait, and they're trying to care for Rin, and she wants none of it.
Okay, no confirmation on that one, but that is a really good theory. I'm proud of you for thinking about that one. That took a lot of brain power, jeez.
No, yeah, I just...
Okay, so then we get the opening, and we've already talked about that, but you finally get your hermit crab this episode. How do you feel about your theory?
So, okay, So in the first episode we did of this podcast, I really went in on theorizing about this hermit crab, and I've gotta say, I don't think I'm right at all. I don't think it... But I do think it has symbolism associated with it. I genuinely do. And so what the symbolism I think it has is a lot more about Kyo, because kind of skipping ahead a little bit, when the hermit crab is heavily shown in the show, they're talking about Kyo and his bracelet and all that kind of stuff, and how he has that inexplicable fate, and he's really weighed down by kind of almost the lives lost for the bracelet that's made out of, let's just get into it, bone and blood to keep his powers in check. And so I think that the hermit crab is there because what was his grandpa, essentially? A forced hermit. He had to live alone in his little dwelling, right? So that's the hermit crab. They're talking about that with that. And all Kyo's trying to do, like the hermit crab crawling away on the sandcastle, is escape this kind of inexplicable fate of being a hermit or trapped at the top of this castle.
Oh my god, how do you get this symbolism?
And so that's why I think that the hermit crab means, is that it's his destiny, quote unquote, to be a hermit, but he's trying to escape that.
I'm like flabbergasted, manga readers. Feel my pain right now. That is a very, very good theory. I really like that one. Yeah, because the cat does have to stay in that room. So
my initial theory I think was wrong, but this theory I think has a lot more merit, and I'm sticking to this new hermit crab analogy.
Right when Kyo does say about like sacrificing their lives, that little hermit crab just kind of like
was kind of
over.
Yeah, exactly.
But top 10 anime deaths.
Yeah,
so sad. Yes. Poor hermit crab first gets struck by waves and then Reen's kicking it.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's the opening. Good theory. Oh jeez. Oh man, we're in for an episode. Okay. When we watched it, he's like, I don't know, I didn't really get much from it, and here we are with this symbolism. Okay, so end of opening. And now we're back with Yuki and Tohru, just like we were at the end of last episode. We're wrapping that up. So, have some questions for you.
Go for it.
What are you thinking about Yuki's character right now?
So, throughout this entire episode, it almost feels like he has a lot more of a backbone than he ever has.
Yeah, Tohru did say that he got bolder.
Yeah. And so I agree with that fully. And I also liked how they pointed out what she actually did and did not hear, because that was kind of a big question mark at the end of last episode for me. And so really all she heard was that he can move forward and believe, I think is the words that specifically he said. And she couldn't hear anything else. It was too quiet. And so I thought that overall, we see him very protective over Tohru this entire episode. Like, very protective. In every instance, he kind of confronts Kyo. He's looking over her at some point. I can't remember exactly when, but he's in the trees watching her and Kyo, I think, as Akito's kind of moving towards them with Kureno, and then they move away.
Oh yeah, he was watching because Akito and Kureno were on their walk, and Shigure was like, oh, I wonder if they're off to go see Tohru, and Yuki's like, no, don't like that. And he went on his little walk, and he's looking at them, looking at Kureno, looking at Akito, and then sees Reen. So that's the part you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah. So it's just, Yuki tends to appear in this episode wherever Tohru might be in danger. And it's almost he's like a little guard mouse. Rat.
Rat.
over Tohru. And so I think he's gotten bolder. I think that the lid isn't fully off on him, but it's cracked open now. It's like when you have like a little box and you can just kind of see the inside of it because it's kind of shifting away. You can see like the papers.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what's going on. Because I don't think his trauma's instantly erased now.
No, I don't think PTSD just wipes away so easily with one comment.
No, I can't imagine. If so, that would be, wow, Tohru needs to share her secrets. But no. So that's that.
And later on in the episode, keeping with the Yuki theme, he later says that he isn't apologizing about the kiss. What's that about?
His advances make me uncomfortable sometimes. He's very forward.
Yeah.
And I stick with that none of it's romantic at all. Okay. I don't see any romance. I still think it's forced romance because he thinks that's how to have a relationship with someone who's not like immediate family. Still think he just doesn't quite understand what to do there. Or it's more of a platonic like kiss on the forehead kind of deal. But I think that I don't quite know about that. Maybe because it helped him demonstrate how he actually feels. It lifted a weight off of him, maybe. I don't quite know why he's very explicitly like, I'm not sorry about that. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You know what I'm talking about.
Whispering in your ear.
Yeah. And so, I don't know. That's my best guess there.
Okay. Anything more you have on those two Yuki moments?
Not that I can recall. No, not off the top of my head.
We'll see. Alrighty. So then we're off to Hattori, who's apologizing to Tohru, which I think is just such a sweet scene when you compare it to his relationship with Kana and how he kind of relates that to Tohru. Just leaving her alone, and it makes him sad. Mm-hmm. Ugh.
And real quick, looping back to Yuki,
you did remember something?
I remembered something. Is that I liked how freely he was laughing with Haru.
Yeah.
Because we don't really get to see that. We've only seen him laugh a very few, maybe even just once or twice. Very infrequently does he laugh. And so he was just laughing out in the open with Haru, and I thought that was really cool and shows that stark difference. But back to your comment on Hattori, correct?
Yes.
I just liked how he was looking out for Tohru. She was like, "Oh, why are you even here?" And I think I really like Hattori more and more because he genuinely cares about Tohru and Yuki, and I think even Kyo. I genuinely don't think he detests Kyo.
Okay.
I know that a lot of people aren't the biggest fan of Kyo because, like, cat.
Yeah.
But I think that I don't know. I thought it was a precious moment.
It was very sweet. And Tohru gets all flustered.
Yeah.
She was very flustered this episode.
With everything.
Yeah. And Kyo's like, calm down.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of our boy Kyo, let's just go over those two little sand scenes, shall we?
Okay.
Okay, manga readers know what's up. I've been waiting for this scene, or both of these scenes, for so long. So I'm very happy to see them animated because I just think they're so precious.
Mm-hmm.
They're very sweet. So, first of all, what do you think's going on with Tohru and Kyo?
Oh, look, that ship has fully, in my opinion, again, this is just my opinion, I think that everything we've seen in this episode, the last episode, that ship has sailed. It has docked. I don't think, even with everything that happened with Tohru and Yuki's very protective over her. None of it feels, not the kiss, not anything. None of it feels romantic to me. She's an incredibly special person to him. I think that Kyo and Tohru's chemistry is just off the charts.
Yeah.
In every way.
And he is starting to open up to her a lot more.
Yeah.
As you notice in the second little sand castle building scene, he starts to tell her a little bit more details about the curse, specifically with his bracelet. And he starts to really open up and she gets emotional with it and just grabs his beads again, which used to be such a big, like, not
no,
like a trigger, but it was just like a no territory because of his mom. And now she's grabbing his beads and he just looks at her so nicely and he's really opening up.
Because it's not out of fear, it's more out of concern for his emotional well-being. And that's what I think I like about their relationship. Because they both have their stuff, but neither is scared to call the other one out on it from what I've seen. Like, Kyo's always pointing out when she is overly happy and is like, what's wrong? Like, what's bothering you? And when he's really down, she'll address that. And so I think that that's really a strength of that. I don't want to call it like, well, it's a ship. I think that their relationship, that's the core strength, is that they're able to build each other up instead of being like codependent.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yuki's very dependent on Tohru, but that is not reciprocated in any way. She always seems very overwhelmed by the stuff that she's getting from him, and she supports him in any way that she can, but she never opens up to him, like, ever, about anything deep or personal. That at least I remember. If she does, it's very rare.
Yeah. Okay.
But she always does for Kyo, and these little beach moments really prove that.
Yes. Okay. Another little note I have from their conversations, Kyo's talking about his mother and just like little things about that. I think. Or maybe I just wrote this down for fun. So, did Kyo kill his mother in your opinion?
No.
Just to catch up with that. Oh, I remember why I wrote this down. Because Akito had said that Kyo killed his mom. He's like a mother murderer.
No. I don't think that he hulked out and killed her. I think she committed suicide or was killed by an outside force. I don't think that Kyo turned into a monster and killed her. I think a lot of people probably attribute her death to Kyo, and so maybe in his head he may as well have killed her. But I think even Kyo said last episode she killed and then trailed off, was killed in a car accident. So he was gonna say, I imagine, she killed herself.
Yeah, he said was killed in an accident.
Yeah.
Not a car accident. Just to clear that up.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Don't want you to get an idea in your head.
I'm thinking of Toru's mom.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I just wanted to check in with you again, because I know opinions can change every single episode, so
yes.
Just wanted to double check.
No, I don't think he killed her.
The only other thing I have written down for the Kyo Tohru moments is when Kyo says, what existence is worth a sacrifice or worth more than another life? Mm-hmm. And I didn't really have a question about that. I just thought it was such a significant moment, and I just wanted to point it out, because I really love that line of dialogue.
I think that I think he does, this kind of ties in with your last question about his mom, because if he does think that her death was his fault, like she committed suicide, and then one person or more people, their bones and blood was used to create these beads to keep him in check, that's a lot of deaths that's kind of weighing on his soul at all times. Anytime he looks at that bracelet, anytime he thinks of his mother or his family, he thinks of, oh, people died for me or because of me. And that's a lot for one person to deal with. And so I thought that this was really insightful in terms of a connection between, he loathes the beads because his mom was always checking them, not really caring about him, but making sure that they were on right, but also that they represent that people had to die to keep him in check.
Yeah, that's a good theory.
It's really sad. I don't know. It's really sad stuff.
Yeah. Ooh, good job putting all that together. Using that brain power.
My head's not just for show.
Okay. Did you have anything else on Kyo and Tohru?
Not really. I thought it was really cute how they improved drastically at building sandcastles from the first day to the second day. Going from sand mountains to, like, That sandcastle was way better than anything I've ever made. It had like a nice arch. It had a two-tiered structure. That was fantastic.
She went for it, and he's just like, I don't know, this kind of looks like a mountain.
Yo, yeah. He was like, is this really great? Like, do you really want to show everyone this? And it's just like, yo, yes. Although it gets destroyed by the wave, which is kind of sad. But, you know.
Oh, man. Okay, so we only have 2 more, like, character people to talk about in all of their scenes. So let's go over Akito first. So we see Akito meet with Hatsuharu. And we noticed something a little bit special about this scene.
Yes! Okay. So, context. We've been watching Demon Slayer as well as Fruits Basket. And in Demon Slayer, there is... I always forget what the flower's called. But
it is called a red spider lily.
Red spider lily. And that represents death and resurrection. And there was a painting behind Akito with the red spider lily, right?
Yes.
And I thought that this was crazy because I was like, oh, wow, connection with Demon Slayer. But I remember looking up what that means, that death in that resurrection. And I was like, how many flowers are there? There are 12 on that banister. So that represents the zodiac. And then I was like, whoa, there's also a red... I thought it was a red sun, like the symbol of Japan. But as we were kind of thinking about it, it made a lot more sense that it was a moon.
Yeah, and I pointed out there's kind of like a white ring around it, and it almost looks like a lunar eclipse.
Yes! And what does a lunar eclipse symbolize? Well, in Japan, it's a bad omen of things to come and souls transferring, which is very zodiac.
Yes, so they are putting details even in the tapestry behind the characters. So, there's so much meaning in that one tapestry.
I think, and we've, because I exclaimed while we were watching the episode, that this is a sign that, okay, it symbolizes the zodiac, like when they die, they get reincarnated, but like, it also symbolizes that stuff's about to go down, I think. Like, there's going to be blood. I'm not sure if that's accurate, but I feel like, why would they include that flower in particular as Akito's kind of being very Akito-like?
Oh, yeah. Very menacing.
Yeah.
Yeah, typically when you see the red spider lily in an anime, things are about to go down. So
I feel like...
good notice.
I feel like those flowers represent the zodiac, and the lunar eclipse, which is that hugely bad omen of bad things to come, represents Akito on the tapestry. Oh, that made me so excited. Sorry.
You were really pumped about that.
I was so pumped.
Okay. With Akito, I have some questions for you.
Okay.
So, why does Akito have a superiority complex when it comes to Tohru?
So, I feel like Akito sees what Tohru is doing to the rest of the zodiac. They're all kind of opening up. But I feel as though Akito sees this as an act of futility, and almost that no matter what she does to try and get them to open up and be their own people and have their own feelings and lives and whatever, Akito will always have them under his thumb. And I think he truly believes that. And almost sees Tohru as a rival in a way.
Okay.
Seeing her trying to open up all of the Zodiac members, just so that Akito can then kind of snuff their hope back out again. And I think that almost excites Akito to see them growing stronger and better mentally and in a lot of different ways, so that Akito can see them grovel back to him when it doesn't work out. Or so he has the opportunity to take all of this hope away and destroy them. So I almost feel like Akito thinks he's allowing them to be built up by Tohru and is disgusted by her, so that ultimately he can get rid of her at some point to mentally scar and ruin all of the Zodiac members so that they will never try to defy him again. Or something like that.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I think that's why he feels superior to her.
Another question for you. When Akito and Kureno are walking, Akito says that Kureno is substandard, like within the zodiac.
Yeah.
What do you think he meant by that?
I think it's the belittling nature of Akito. I think he really finds the one thing that gets. It's like a sibling. They know that one thing that no matter what it is, it'll get under your skin. So when he was talking to Haru, for instance, he said that Haru was a laughingstock, I believe is the phrase that he used.
Yes.
And we know that that's something that has really affected Haru mentally. He's done this to Yuki. We see him do this to so many people. And so I think it's a huge insecurity of Kureno's that he may be substandard or not good enough in some way. And so he keeps Kureno in that dark room constantly like he used to do to Yuki. And I think it's just a tactic to mercilessly continue breaking them down. I mean, it's literally a technique for abuse and control, is to hit on your target's weaknesses and insecurities. So that's why I think it happened. I also think it's interesting to segue a little bit that he said that Kureno was specifically interested in Tohru and meeting Tohru.
Yeah, there was something going on there where he was like, well, do you want to meet Tohru? And Kureno just looks up from the laptop, like, not answering.
Yeah, yes. And so I thought that was a really interesting interaction because I feel like Kureno has expressed interest in meeting her since she's almost this legendary figure in the Zodiac now.
Maybe. Who knows? Okay, those were all of my Akito questions. So, are you ready to move on to Rin?
Yes.
Okay. First of all, why is Rin at the beach?
I don't know. Rin is the one character I can barely form a theory on. She boggles my mind. Okay, so here's my only thought. I think that she really cares about Haru, like, a lot. Even though she broke up with him, I think she cares about him a lot. And so I think she went to the beach because she found out that Akito was there.
Mm-hmm.
And she wanted to keep an eye on Haru without being seen. I think she's very much a protector, even though she has this very angry demeanor. She wants to make sure that whatever happened to her in the hospital doesn't happen to Haru. And if it does, she can be there to try and mediate or help with that or do something. I don't know. But I think that she didn't want to be seen, and that's why she was so angry when Yuki and Tohru found her in the woods.
Oh, yeah, and she was flinging insults around. She called Yuki Akito's tool, and I thought that there was a very important little bit there. Did you notice anything about that?
Tohru had never heard that. Tohru seemed surprised by that.
Yeah, and Yuki's face didn't really react.
Yeah, that was anytime they talk about Akito, Yuki tends to recoil a little bit, or Yuki's experiences with Akito, he tends to recoil a little bit. But that time, he was deadpan.
Yeah, he didn't say anything in response, and he just kind of, like, sat there.
Yeah.
Crazy. The growth!
Yes, the growth! The growth! And so I thought that was really interesting.
Okay. Another little note I have about Rin. So when Tohru's hanging up the laundry again, she realizes that she has now met the horse, and the only Zodiac member that she hasn't met yet is the rooster.
Which in this episode...
Give me your thoughts on this.
Well, in this episode, it was 100% confirmed that Kureno is the rooster.
When?
They said that Kureno was a member of the Zodiac.
Okay, good.
They literally said that, and who's the only Zodiac member we have not explicitly met or seen turn into an animal? It's Kureno. So, even though I was 99.9% positive that he was the rooster, this is just full confirmation that Akito is not a member of the Zodiac. Kureno is. That was dope. Thank goodness, because if Akito did end up being the rooster, I would have been so mad.
Imagine Akito, like, flinging things and yelling and
then just turns
throwing
into
glass at people and then turns into a rooster.
A little cock-a-doodle-doo.
Oh my god. Okay. So we end the episode with Akito saying that he wants to meet Kyo tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So Kyo gets his turn. Ooh.
For
better or worse?
Think that this is bad.
Okay.
I think that I don't know what's going to happen in that room. I don't think that Kyo's gonna keep his promise, if you can call it that, to Yuki.
Yeah, he didn't really promise.
I don't think he didn't really promise, but trouble is a brewing, and with Akito being very blatant about calling Kyo a monster and saying why would anyone want to associate with that monster in reference to Tohru, and saying that he didn't even want to see him, I think a couple, like either the last episode or this episode, and now he all of a sudden wants to see him after he sees Kyo with Tohru. I think Kyo's a big key here, and seeing how he's growing and happy with Tohru scares Akito. I think that Kyo could almost be like an antithesis to Akito. If Kyo gets his goal or his wish of being in the Zodiac by beating the rat, I think something bad will happen to Akito, or Akito's plans or whatever Akito wants will be thwarted, and that's what Shigure is playing at.
Maybe. Who knows? But we'll learn more in the next episode, maybe, probably. Beach Shark.
Maybe, probably.
Lots of stuff happening.
Lots of stuff. I don't know
So, the next episode, we hear Kyo saying, "My precious."
Ooh, that's Tohru.
You think so?
Oh, come on.
I'm just checking.
Come
I'm not
on.
going to say anything. Okay.
But
well,
is there
I am very excited for that next episode, so we'll see you back next Tuesday.
Yes. So is there anything else that you want to add?
I don't think so, but manga readers, if you have any questions for John, please leave them down below. Make sure that they're spoiler free, but you can ask the kind of like prodding questions that I do to try and get something out of him.
Yeah. So if you enjoyed this episode, then make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below. And as always, we hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, fantastic rest of your week, and why not even a fantastic rest of your month. And we will see you in the next video. Have a great one. Later.
See ya.